Hello, YouTube. We are back. Our second attempt at going live here today. So, thank you so much for your patience and for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and start the podcast right now. Thank you so much for joining me. It is Thursday, December 2nd, and we are going to talk today about my favorite resort at each of the different levels at Walt Disney World. So, this is the Daily Disney Podcast. We are live on YouTube, but then we're also recording, so it will go on our different podcast channels that you can check out. And let's get right into it. Today, I'm going to talk about three different resorts, one at each of the levels at Disney World, and kind of give some insight as to why I like the resort and why I think it's the best. It kind of makes it better than the rest. So, first off, let's talk about the value resorts. And the most common are going to be like your Pop Century and all those. But I like Art of Animation. Now, it is a very, very frustrating resort because it is so stinking big. The thing is ginormous, but there's a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot of different areas. And probably the coolest thing to do there is to see the different areas within the resort itself. They've got a Little Mermaid area, Cars area, Lion King, Finding Nemo. And in those, they've got gigantic statues and different things that you can go and get your picture taken in front of. And each one has a pool that's designated for that area. Like the Cars area has got a pool with like cones next to it as kind of like their little area where you can kind of sit under there, like umbrella type things, but they're shaped like traffic cones. So it goes right along with that movie, with the movie Cars. Now, the bad thing about this resort is it is so big. I mean, you're walking a good mile. We stayed at the Little Mermaid wing, which is from about Chicago to Orlando. It is every bit of a mile from your hotel room to the main lobby where the restaurant is, where the gift shop is, where the bus stop is. Everything is in that hub where the big pool is. So you're doing a lot of walking. You really are. And by the end at the end of your vacation, you are exhausted and you're feeling it. So that's one downside. They only have one bus pickup. It's right there. They don't go where like other resorts are. We'll talk about another one in a minute that does this, but basically they've got a cool little quick service area. It's called Landscape of Flavors. They've got breakfast, lunch, dinner, 5 different shops that you can go and get your food. They had pasta, pizza, burgers, all that kind of different stuff like that. They have the largest resort pool in Disney World, the Big Blue Pool. It's themed right around Finding Nemo. To be completely honest, we didn't go there because it was packed, absolutely packed. Now, this is pre-COVID, so you have as many people in the pool as you want. Also, the Cars, Cars, Finding Nemo, and Lion King are family suites. So even though it's a value resort, you're going to pay more because you have more of a suite type feel. We paid in the we stayed in the Little Mermaid, which is just your standard room, kind of the 2 beds and a full bath, everything like that. It is attached to the Skyliner. So now these resorts are kind of a hot commodity because you can get on the Skyliner and go everywhere. Get to Epcot, and then you're over to Hollywood Studios. Get to Epcot, go to Magic Kingdom. There's a ton of different places you can go from the Skyliner that opens up the travel a lot easier. So that's kind of why I like it. I think it's cool. It was going to be like a Millennium Resort, and then 9/11 happened, and all kinds of different things were occurring, so it changed. But I think it's cool. I think it's got a really fun, cool feel. I mean, we spent hours just walking around looking at the different statues and things that they had. It was really cool to actually see that. Tons of pictures of our boys in front of all the car stuff. And then right in front of us, I think Ursula was in front of our building. I mean, this thing is 6 stories tall. I mean, it's a gigantic sculpture type thing. So that's my first resort that I want to talk about. I like it. I think it's the best of the values. My problem with like the Pops and some of those is you always get a big convention of cheerleaders or band or dance or football or baseball or something where yes, Disney is for kids, but I don't want kids running around at 3 in the morning knocking on doors and throwing stuff everywhere. And it's a little hectic trying to get a bus sometimes with these locations with 7 cheer teams in front of you. So just the sheer number of people at some of these other value resorts, you don't see that as much at the Art of Animation because there's only one tower, 2 towers basically, the Little Mermaid towers that are that value price. Everything else is really a little more expensive. So that's the first one to talk about. The second one is for the moderate resorts. I want to talk about the Caribbean Beach or Caribbean Beach, however you say it. Now, this has been fully renovated. I have not been there since the renovation, but what I want to talk about is why this is different, why it's better. And honestly, I think it is cool because the bus stops at every single little village, Martinique, and all these different areas. And yes, you can get on a bus and it be full, but like it's really kind of only people in your resort. And sometimes the value resorts, Art of Animations by itself, but Pop and some of those other ones kind of you get a lot of people crossing over. But anyway, it's on the Skyliner now. They've got a really, really cool pool. It's a Spanish themed 0 entry pool. There's 2 slides, water cannons, a really cool slide that goes through kind of through the fort. So the pool itself is really neat. I liked the whole just look and feel of it. I know it's been renovated. It's got a fresh coat of paint. There's changes going on like in the gift shop and food and everything, but just the whole feel, you get that island vibe. It's really, really cool. Now we stayed a little bit away from the main building, but it really wasn't that far. And if you want to get on a bus, it takes you up there. The buses just kind of circle through there. So that's kind of why I like this one better. There's a lot of different moderates that are really, really cool. There's a lot of different moderates that a lot of people like better than these. But Old Port Royale is, I think, one of the coolest places on property. It's kind of your point of entry. It's kind of got that. You've got your lobby there with everything like that. It's where you check in. There's dining. There's the new Sebastian's place. There's all kinds of different things to eat at the resort. I mean, it's just different. It's just different food you don't get. There's a couple Caribbean focus things there, some meals there, but then you also the merchandise itself is very similar everywhere else. It's just I don't know. It's just that whole you get that whole island vibe. You get that whole island feel where it truly feels like you are on vacation. Yes, you're in a Disney property, and you're never going to escape that, which is a good thing, right? You're in the bubble, but there's a market there. There's refreshments. Banana is the outside bar and lounge at the pool. It just feels like a whole different vibe, a whole different thing than it does going to some of the other moderates. And each moderate is cool. Each one has got their own thing. But Caribbean Beach for me, I think it's a step above. Now the transportation I think is a mess. It's got the Skyliner, which is awesome. It's got the bus, which is awesome. But just overall, it's a real popular resort, right? It's really, really popular. So you're going to have the same problem that you do have with some of the values where sometimes when you're getting on that bus to come back at 11:30 at night, it could be full. You could be having to wait a couple. It's one of the more popular moderates. And I think it's cool. It's got the Pirates rooms. I know some friends that were there during hurricanes and stuff, and they said the staff was awesome. They treated you right. Since Uncle COVID came in, it's back opened. The renovations have been amazing. The colors pop. I mean, I see you just watch the Skyliner footage and you just see how beautiful everything is. It looks like it's a brand new resort since everything's kind of been adjusted. So that's the moderate. And then if you know me, the deluxe resort that I like the most is the Contemporary. It's the best. It's the Mecca. I think when you say Disney World Resort, this is the one that always comes to mind. It's the A-frame. Monorail goes right through it. You can walk to Disney or to Magic Kingdom, take the monorail everywhere else. It's amazing. Take the boat to Magic Kingdom. It's got the California Grill up top. The monorail goes right through the middle where you're sitting down below. There's just tons of different options for you to see. The Seven Seas Lagoon is right there. If you do have a high-powered camera, you can see Epcot. I mean, we stayed there. We were very fortunate enough to stay there for a week and had a theme park view. So we could literally lay in bed, open up the drapes, and see Space Mountain, the castle, Splash Mountain, everything like that. And then once nighttime comes, you're just sitting up there hanging out in the on your balcony, waiting for the fireworks, waiting for everything going on the lagoon. It's just an amazing experience. So you're going to pay for it. It's expensive. Those deluxe resorts are expensive, but I think this is a little bit better than Grand Floridian, Polynesian. Those are fantastic resorts too, but my favorite is the Contemporary. So the 3 resorts that I go to, if we have to stay value, I want to stay at the Art of Animation. If we stay moderate, I want to go to Caribbean Beach. And then if we can splurge and go to the high level resorts, I want to go to the Contemporary. I think it's the best. I think it's the best resort on property. And I hope that you get the opportunity to stay there at some point too. It's fantastic. I love it a lot. And that's it. So please comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your list is. It's one of those where this is the beauty of doing this, and the beauty of really enjoying Disney and everything that they have to offer is we can have these discussions where I can tell you 4 or 5 bad things about Art of Animation, but that I can also follow it up with 4 or 5 great things. And that's where we can have that discussion and say, okay, maybe I want to try this next time, different things like that. So thanks for tuning in, and let me know what your favorite resort is in each level, and we'll talk to you later.